We'll start with what happened on Thursday and where the NFL currently stands with it. According to Cleveland.com's Mary Kay Cabot, the NFL will review George Pickens instigating a fight with Browns quarterback Greg Newsome after the Hail Mary at the end of the Browns' 24-19 upset of the Steelers, and a fine could be coming and or more disciplinary action. Now, this is what I have been told in this instance, because we could sit here and say, well, was George instigating it? Maybe he wasn't. If you go back and watch the film, I think each side will have a little bit of bias when you talk about this situation. Steelers fans will say, well, Newsome clearly grabbed him, and Browns fans will say, well, Newsome was supposed to get him out of the end zone, and George was not supposed to take a swing, and he took a swing. This is what I have been told, that the NFL is reviewing the situation, that a fine is very likely for not just George Pickens, but both of them. However, suspension is unlikely where we stand right now. That could obviously change. Things in the NFL change constantly. I have a hard time believing that the NFL is going to look at this and say both guys are suspended. However, again, what I have been told from sources is that George Pickens is not a first-time offender this season, and because of that, there is more of a highlight on this instance. And while it's still not believed that he will be suspended now, the next one could come with more disciplinary action, and he is kind of on the hot seat with the league to not get in trouble, this being his third time this season that he will, if he does, get fined for a situation like that. The first one obviously being against the Cowboys when he ripped Jordan Lewis down by his face mask at the end of the game. And then the second one being a, I guess, face mask, which when that fine happened, I think everybody said, oh, that's for straight UFC fighting the Commanders cornerback in the interception. Instead, it was for some random, very strange face mask that I don't think he should have been fined for, but was. That being said, not supposed to be suspended, is on the hot seat with the league, so that next time most likely is a suspension. Not good for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Your confidence level that George Pickens can keep this thing tame. And at the same time, I mean, if you're Mike Tomlin, what conversations do you have? Because this guy he's been showing up late for work this season. That's been known. Mike Tomlin told Rodney Harrison over the weekend that the one thing he would like George to do is just show up on time. That would be great. And this is 3 times. And again, like I'm not trying to sit here and say George is doing anything wrong. I mean, he clearly is, but he's also 23 years old. If some guy was talking smack, I think I would have been more engaged in that play. I'm just guessing. But I also think that there's a side of me that definitely would have smoked Greg Newsome, and would have had no issue smoking Greg Newsome. The other two, I think I probably could have avoided. Long gone are the days of waiting in long lines at midnight to get the best deals on your favorite things on Black Friday. Now, all you got to do is check out my partners, DraftKings Sportsbook, who have touchdowns on sale all weekend long. Now, that's something to get excited about. Did you think that was it? Well, right now, all new DraftKings customers who bet just $5 will get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Just download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and sign up using my promo code ALLSteelers. The crown is yours. That's right. Check out the DraftKings Sportsbook app all weekend long to stay up to date on all of the touchdown offers available. And don't forget to stay in on the action and use your $150 in bonus bets on DraftKings same-game parlays for a shot on an even bigger payout. Combine multiple bets together from the same game. If sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry. You can still join in on all the fun with DraftKings Daily Fantasy and have the shot to win cash prizes. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use my promo code ALLSteelers and bet just $5 on any wager and get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins. That's promo code ALLSteelers only at DraftKings Sportsbook. What's your confidence level that George is able to tame himself? And what do you say if you're Mike Tomlin to try and help tame him moving forward?
Yeah, you have to have the conversation with him of if you're done, if you're out for a pivotal game, we're done. Look around. Like there's a reason that you're getting the targets that you're getting. We need you to be available and in the
Yes.
game.
Yes.
And everybody has talked all season long about, well, if he goes down with injury, where does that leave the Steelers? It's obviously worse if he's down and healthy and isn't available to the Steelers. So you cannot get suspended, especially if it ends up being for a big game down the stretch. That means seeding implications. That could mean the difference between a home playoff game and a road playoff game. And as we'll talk about, if things continue to trend in the wrong direction, which I don't think either of us believe they will, it could be playoff implications, or you could be out for a playoff game, which is the worst case scenario possible.
Yes.
If you're Tomlin, you sit him down and say, listen, we need you to be available. And right now you're on thin ice with the league. You need to cut this crap out. That being said, my confidence level that he will is not very high, because he has shown that it's pretty easy to get under his skin for opposing defenses.
I agree. That's what worries me more. It's not Tomlin's ability to control him. It's George Pickens' resilience to be controlled. That's where it becomes an issue in my eyes. Is George is a feisty guy. George is a dude who you will, like 2 weeks from Cleveland, it's almost impossible that doesn't get chippy. And George is going to be at the front and center of that chippiness. But like, what is the line? Can you not cross the line? And I think that's where you go if you're Mike Tomlin, is not, hey, dude, I don't think I'm sitting here telling him to stop. I don't think I'm sitting here saying, George, remove all the fire, get rid of it. You have to play soft. You have to not kind of fight back for yourself. You have to not do any of that. You have to be cool, calm, and collected at all times. That's not who George is. You're going to kill George and what makes him special, I believe. Mm-hmm. What you have to do is be able to say, dude, you can't cross the line. You have to keep it words only, no physical action. Because the second that you slap a face mask, the second that you get chippy and shovey with somebody, you are going to be the one that gets in more trouble than they are, whether that's fair or not, simply because all eyes are on you right now. And if he could avoid that, if he could just talk, just do the talking, I think it's fine. I think you're good with where you're at. But like you said, like, that's tough to do. Where we sit here right now, I don't know what my confidence level is that George is capable of doing that, but that's the conversation I'm having if I'm Mike Tomlin, is just talk, no physical action, let your play be the physical side of things, and let your mouth, chirp away, dude. You want to talk smack all game, talk smack all game. Don't touch anybody, because just like you said, every single game from here on out, we're going to dive into it here in a minute. There are already people saying the Pittsburgh Steelers are somehow not going to make the playoffs, which is wild to say. That is so inaccurate to say. But every single game counts towards your AFC North claim and where you sit in the playoffs. And you can't miss Christmas. You can't miss Philadelphia. You can't miss Baltimore. You can't miss Cleveland again. You can't miss the final game against Cincy. And you certainly can't miss a playoff game, because the Pittsburgh Steelers have literally nobody and no offense to rely on if that is the case. Again, my confidence level, we'll see. Cincinnati's another chippy team and an AFC North team. It does not help George's claim. But again, we'll see what happens.